really make her to be part of the meeting. Okay. Just to be sure, Ufa, are you there? Because I want to make you a presenter. Okay, so I'm going to unmute you so that you can speak. Hi, Ufa. I think we're having, yes.
Hi.
Okay, so I'm going to make
Hi.
I'm going to make you a presenter. I'm sure you click on the attendees link instead. I sent 2 links actually. There is one for you as a presenter. I'm going to promote you now.
Oh.
Okay. So let's.
Okay.
No, you're fine. You're fine. So just turn on your camera for me so that we can be, yeah. Okay, great. Awesome.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna start. I think. Let's see. Let me just be sure the recording has started before I go on. Okay. All right. A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from wherever you're joining. I'm super excited to have every one of you on today's episode of C-Suite Corner with MJ. I'm super, super, super glad. I mean, I've got my sisters in the house, and then this is really, 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 it's going to be a lot of fun. Before we start, I just want to give us a little background of what C-Suite Corner with MJ is all about. Once again, I'll say welcome to our vibrant platform, and we aim to explore. I mean, the sole aim of all of this is for us to explore the most crucial topics at the intersection of technology and business. This is a monthly episode, and this monthly episode actually delves into cutting edge innovation and leadership strategies. I mean, with a specific focus really on artificial intelligence, AI data, and cybersecurity. Our ultimate objective is actually to equip all our audience, wherever you are, with valuable insight into practical experience and expert perspective. And the whole aim is also to help you to aid you in how you navigate the ever-evolving technology landscape and its impact on business. Because oftentimes what we've seen is that a lot of times what we technologies are more particular about is about selling or implementing, but we don't know what is really driving the decision making. I mean, what is influencing the decision making of these business leaders? And that's what we're trying with this program to, as much as possible, help to close that gap. Now, this month's episode is actually empowering women in tech, harnessing AI data and security for leadership success. Sorry. And then our key topics will be strategies for women to excel in tech leadership roles, leveraging AI data and cybersecurity for success. We'll be looking at promoting diversity and inclusion in the tech sector, and also empower women to lead with confidence and innovation. Now, meeting me, your host, I'm sure I am an household name in some of your lips. I know a lot of you will know me already, but as way of formality, my name is Olajumo Keturiola. I'm the Chief Technology Officer at Hashem Limited. I'm fondly called MJ, but like I used to say, it in no way does it mean Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan. I think I added Michael Jordan a few days ago when somebody was asking whether it's Michael Jordan, but it's just MJ, just fun. It's okay for you to call me MJ wherever you meet me. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer. I'm a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional, and I'm also a Microsoft Regional Director. Um, One of the things that I like to do is actually sharing my knowledge. And like I said, I'm a co-founder of Techstellar, a community that is focused on bringing more women into tech. And this is the best time to even discuss about what we women in tech are doing to celebrate and also to see some of our challenges and to learn and then to forge forward in this month of March. So again, I've got beautiful, creative, awesome sisters in the house that are going to be taking us through their experience and we can learn from them. So to our panelists, the first person I'm going to be introducing is Oluwaremilekun Olowu. Oluwaremilekun Olowu Bosoro. I hope I did not murder the name. Oluwaremilekun Bosoro Olowu is a business and channel development manager with over 14 years of experience in sales management, pre-sales, customer service, and marketing across the Middle East. Now, Oluwaremilekun is also oversees the Microsoft partner ecosystem in Nigeria and Ghana, and she has worked as a business development manager, telemarketing and pre-sales executive with Integral Solutions and AdTech, where she drives customer acquisition and retention. She holds a BSc in Applied Zoology from Olabisi Onabanjo University. And then she's happily married with a union that is blessed with two amazing sons. Moving on, I'm going to be introducing Wufua Ame. She's a seasoned technology advisor, consultant, and entrepreneur with over 14 years of experience in diverse sectors, ranging from startups to enterprise system. And she's actually one with a profound expertise in agile methodologies, generative AI, and Web3. Wufua is a Meta Scrum Master in MTN, and then she's going to be sharing her knowledge with us, and then she's going to be giving us insight. And then to my beautiful sister in the house again is Omolola Olotu Ezefioma. She's a computer science graduate from the University of Ilorin, and then she excelled as a top student during her career. And then began her career at Inlax. During her study, sorry. And then she began her career at Inlax Computers. She has made significant contribution to the development and management of T24 within the banking space. And she's actually, apart from her professional commitment, Omolola is a certified Google Women Tech Maker Mentors and a marriage mentor. She has done a lot of works reading. She's the author of the book, Dear Daughter, and she regularly shares insight on data management on LinkedIn, reflecting on her data journey and offering guidance to aspiring data stars. So I'm sure we will meet them more after this call. And then I have another sister in the house. Yes, Joy Emedo. Joy tries to, how will I put it? She's another MG. That's what we call her. But for today, she's an authentic MJ. I won't say she is not an authentic MJ. So Jel is a manager for data protection in Avalanche. She's an MCT and a co-founder of Mama Cyber She. She's a staunch advocate of early cyber security adopters. And then with that, you can see that she actually has she developed Mama Cybership to be able to help mothers that are interested in starting a career in cybersecurity. I'm sure a lot of us have known Joy, but you can get to know her more with her LinkedIn profile if you visit her LinkedIn page. And lastly, I'm going to be introducing a very dear sister to me. That is LA, we call her Lola Adeyemi. She's a member of the Forbes Technology Council. She's a director at Panoramic Synergy. She's the global president of Techstyler, a Google Women Tech Maker mentor. She's also a mentor. She has mentored a lot of people through her career. She is a certified Google mentor, a member of Google for Startup Women, and she has also written a book which is titled The Impact of Corporate Governance on Scrum Bar. You can actually check out her book on Amazon. So she's also a very top person in the house. She's also, I mean, I'm sure when they give an opportunity, they'll also introduce a little bit of themselves even before they start talking. Now, moving to our housekeeping rule, because we are actually a little bit behind time, the session will be recorded and will be made available for future viewing. You can actually pen down your questions until the Q&A session. Kindly indicate with a raise of hand feature if you want to speak so we can unmute you. Follow us on LinkedIn, and then you can also subscribe to our YouTube channels to keep up to date. And so, without wasting much of our time, we'll be discussing on the topic Empowering Women in Tech, annexing AI, data, and security for tech role. For leadership success. So, but before I begin, I want to say again to all of you, thank you so much for joining. Is a great privilege to have you all here. I know that at the end of every month, you guys take your time to come join us and be with us. I do not take it for granted. I'm really, really grateful. And then I'm going to be starting with the question very soon. So just permit me, I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now, and then we're going to move on to the questions. All right. So I'll be starting with Oluwaremilekun. Good afternoon once again, Remy.
Good afternoon.
So I'm not sure I did a lot of justice to your introduction, but you're actually butting now to just give us a little brief about you, what you do, what you love. As a lady, as a woman, a tech leader a female leader in tech, just give us a little brief introduction about you.
Oh, all right. My mic is unmuted now. Thank you so much. So I'll call you MJ today. From today, I need to get used to this. But thanks a lot. Thanks everyone for joining. Thank you so much for this opportunity, Olajumoke. What is it about me that you haven't put forward? I think that's majorly about me. Maybe one interesting thing about me, which is a story I love to tell everyone. When I have an opportunity to speak to women in tech, my introduction rightly mentioned that I studied applied zoology, right? And in zoology, human beings are part of higher animals. But I got myself into technology to write an impression my dad probably had. To prove a point, let me put it that way. He's late now, God rest his soul. When he came up to me after, leaving the university, and was like, let me say it in Yoruba, then I'll translate in English. Àwọn ẹgbẹ́ IT ló ń ṣe ń sìn, ibẹ̀ ló ti ń rówó. Let me translate in English for those who are not Yorubas. What that typically meant was my mates at the time were in technology and they were making a whole lot of money. So what was I doing with my life? Right. Yeah. So I decided to just go all out, take courses around technology courses. Started out with Cisco certifications, and then got myself into doing stuff around the Microsoft certifications and all of that. And here I am today, to the glory of God. I'm sure he's happy with me in his grave. I think a week before he died, I'd gone to visit him because he was ill, and he was like, Remy, things are very tough now. I don't think you should be coming to visit me. I think you should focus on your work. So I guess he's proud of me. He's proud of me now.
Definitely.
Right?
Definitely you will.
Yeah. So
he's not the only one that's
yeah. So that's me. That's how I found myself in this league of women in tech, right? Yeah.
All right, thank you, Remy. I'm sure it's not the only one proud of you. I'm actually proud of you myself, you know.
Thank
I'm
you.
actually very, very proud of you. So,
Thank you.
I think to the question I have for you, how do you foresee the future trajectory of AI, data utilization, and security in the tech space? How do you see that these advancements will reshape and promote greater inclusion and diversity in tech, particularly for women leaders?
Okay. And I think I'll start from the end, right? And then go back to, I mean, I mean, maybe just trash out some points. So for me, with the the future that I see anyway, right? For AI, for security, for data utilization. At the end of the day, in the nearest future, I see all of these things driving innovation. Um, a lot more around data privacy, right? And more also around security. At the end of the day, that's what the future would hold. All right. I mean, that's where I see all of this different area of technology that you've spoken about, right? Landing us into. And why do I say that? And I know this has become a constant slogan everywhere now. I still listened to someone a couple of days back, and the person was like, I think it was yesterday, where people feel people are still of the notion that AI is going to take up our jobs as human beings, and then we'll have robots doing everything, right? But in as much as AI is going to help us drive that innovation, right? We as human beings, right, still have a part to play. The AI would definitely help us with innovation, help us churn out new solution. It's more of its embedding on working on the data that we as human beings, right, have provided it onto it. I mean, I was in a session a couple of weeks back and I was telling people, it just reminded me of my secondary school days when we're being taught computer science, right? And then we're taught GIGO. I don't know if any one of us is still familiar with that's GIGO, garbage in, garbage out. So whatever data AI tools are going to be working on to produce whatever information or outputs that we will be seeing in the future, or what we are seeing today, is based on the data we as human beings, right, have provided on these different platforms, right? There's a whole lot that has to be done around security, right? And that is us securing the data not just as an organization, but even individuals' data, right? I mean, talking to things around privacy, things around, privacy, very, very important. And also, I mean, classification of data as well, in terms of the kind of data you make available to people, who do you make those data available to, right? And to what extent can those people, in any case, make use of those data. I was reading somewhere around data democratization, and that's you being able, for different organizations where we are right now, the data is not going to be limited to the data analyst or to the data scientist, even up to how do I put it now, your receptionist, right? Or even the office manager. How do I manage, or how do I have a data view of the number of people that visit this office on a daily basis, on a monthly basis? How do I manage my facility? Up to the minutest bit of business, right? How do we make those data available to those people? But very, very importantly, I know the cybersecurity gurus are on this call, right? But to the minutest bit of those information, how do we ensure that people's privacy are being maintained, right? The privacy around the information that we're utilizing. You were in a session last week, Jumoke, and when we spoke about people just pulling data from everywhere, just to make things, to come up with their own justification. But how do we ensure that the data we make available in the public, or the data we're using within our organizations, right, are properly classified, they are well secured, we're not using people's data just anyhow. So I've spoken about security and compliance. I mean, the global security, GDPR, you have different countries with their own data privacy. Even our own, I don't know if we have non-Nigerians on this call, but even here in Nigeria, NITDA every now and then keeps going back and forth around how do they, I mean, on data privacy, you hear them talking about a lot about data sovereignty and all of that, blah, blah, data residency, right? How do we ensure that all of those things are in place in the nearest future, right? At the end of the day, this is where we'll see ourselves. We need to ensure that we get it right now, because at the end of the day, at some point in the future, we might necessarily not be doing these things ourselves. AI might just be self-served in that case. Let me use that word, self-serve, in the sense that it would have been automated enough, right? To help us carry out some of those innovations. I know I've spent a lot of time on this simple question. I know you had two questions in one. I'll just quickly, I'll quickly run on the second one, which is around how do we as women leaders, right, help in those situations. I mean, well, in this future trajectory that we're talking about, for me, it will be more for us getting ourselves involved. I've heard a lot of women say, you need to get a seat at the table. I attended a session sometimes back, and they said, even if you are not provided a seat at the table, bring your chair and sit at the table.
I love
Right.
that.
Yeah. So if they don't provide you, if they don't provide for you, if they don't make provision for you, just get your seat and get to the table. But that's just for the jokes. But really, it will be us as women leaders when we are in those positions, right, to ensure that our voices are heard. There is inclusivity in whatever it is that the team is doing. How do we bring our perspective as women to the table? All right. And ensure that maybe, for example, people are doing, in hiring processes, you are in HR, even if you're not in HR, you're in leadership. How do they put out the JD in such a way that AI is able to go to the minutest part of those details and ensures that women, or the statements that are being used, right, in creating those adverts or in putting together those job description, doesn't just align it or doesn't just stop it for a particular gender. There's no bias in the data that's being used. There's no bias in the words or the descriptions that are being used in some of our JDs, right? Get ourselves involved in any way we can, or as much as we can. Ensure that even the policies that your organizations are churning out, right, is strong enough to have this women inclusivity put into it, right? And then at the end of the day, whichever way, our voice will be heard, right? And those decisions will be made. I'm not asking that everything should be for women, but again, when you have a woman on the table, you can be sure that things will go
Absolutely.
right. All right. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you, sis. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
You're
much,
welcome.
Remy. Well said. I love the way you broke it down. I love the way you talked about the use of AI, data utilization and security in each of the sectors, in each of the workplace, even to the receptionists, how they're going to make use of data, how that's going to give them insights, and then what is AI driving? The use of AI, how is it going to drive insight to all of these data? Thank you so much. And then the fact again that you're saying that women, we have to do what? Raise our voice, ensure that even if you're not invited, bring your own chair to the table and then sit there. Thank you so much. And for what is worth, I want to say a big thank you once again, Remy, for joining. Today is our son's birthday. We're sending him a lot of shout outs to
Thank you.
the
Thank
young
you.
guy. Thank you so much. Happy
Thank you.
birthday, and making our
Thank
time
you.
even at that to join us. Okay, so next is Wufwa. I don't know if I can have Wufwa's camera turned on. Yeah. Yeah, so
Hi, my
okay.
camera is actually on.
We want to see your beautiful face. Yes.
Can you see?
Oh,
My camera is actually turned on. Can you see my?
okay. That means you've gone again back to attendees mode. Okay, let me sort that out. I think I know what's happening. All right, so while I wait to sort out that, let me quickly just deal with let me move on to Omolola instead. I'll sort you out in a bit. Sorry. So Omolola, I know I didn't do a lot of justice to your introduction, and that's because I have some technical issue with the slide as they were coming on, and then I got distracted. But then you're at liberty right now to just give us a little bit of those areas I did not cover, and then so just briefly tell us some of the things I didn't mention about you that you want us to know about you.
All right. Good evening, everyone from Lagos, Nigeria. My name is Omolola. You already mentioned that very well. Thank you, MJ, for having me today. I'm so grateful for the opportunity, and thank you to everyone who has joined us today. Um, so about me, something you didn't mention is that I currently transitioned from working in telco space. I was in the telco space for about 16 and a half years, working as a data professional. And I recently transited and moved into doing my own thing within my own space. I am the Chief Data Officer for Creative Foods Concept, a company that is focused on creating high quality foods. And we're also using my expertise to ensure that we are quality driven using data. So we're a data driven organization and also creating digital solutions within the food space to help other businesses. So I think that's the most interesting thing about me in recent times that you probably did not mention. Thank you so much.
Amazing, amazing. You can see the transition, and then what's important is that I'm sure Omolola is playing a very crucial role even in the food security issue right now in Nigeria. I'm sure having transitioned from telco and then you move to um creative, your company Creative Food, and then to be a data, the chief data officer of that. For me, when I saw those profile, it was huge, and that's one of the reasons that fascinated me to you. I said, wow, I love when women are doing great things, and they're not doing great things alone instead, but they're making impacts not only in technology but even in the ways in every areas of life. Thank you so much for joining us. So one of the things I want to ask is that what are the critical strategies of data analytics that female tech leaders like yourself can employ to foster innovation? Because Remy talked a little bit about innovation. Let me not say a little bit, she talked extensively about innovation. So where do you see data analytics helping to foster innovation and guide decision in environments that are powered by artificial intelligence?
Okay, thank you so much. And that's a very brilliant question. Um, so I want to start by saying that data is business, data is life, literally. And one of the biggest challenges I would take from my experience working as a data leader and female in telco for several years, one of the biggest challenge was getting people on board, and that in the part of data literacy within my organization and also within the executives within the organization, because getting the buy-in and the executive support to ensure your strategies are implemented is a key success factor in supporting AI within any environment. And like Remy said earlier, it's GIGO, garbage in, garbage out, goodness in, goodness out, like Scott Taylor would say. So indeed, it is about being strategic, understanding your contribution to the business as a data leader and even a female data leader, and understanding the biases that you have to get past to get things done. That is very important. So strategically positioning data as a key requirement for AI success within the organization, and using data governance. data governance as a key tool to ensure that the quality of data that goes into the AI solutions are top-notch and will deliver the value business is trying to drive. Technology is about driving business value at an exponential rate, basically, at the end of the day. And that is what our role is as women leaders, to ensure that business value is being delivered, through technology and our different roles. So as a data analytics leader, it is important that first you work with awareness of your role, the importance of education, not just for the entire team, but also for you as the leader, to ensure that education is a key part, in terms of, oh, sorry, I have,
Yeah, you.
okay, all right.
Yeah, but you're fine
Sorry,
right
I
now.
had a little distraction here. Okay, so
Okay.
yeah, okay. So to ensure that the education is top notch for the teams, for the data teams, and then data literacy for the organization as a whole. Remy mentioned having even the front desk person having access to data. So it means the front desk person also needs to be data literate to understand our actions at every point in time. And everybody contributes to the data entry within the organizations. And half of the problems we have with data quality is born out of lack of data literacy, understanding the importance of what we do in our different roles when we carry out our different roles that contribute to the entire data ecosystem of the organization. So this is very critical, I believe, with the education, with data governance in place, and then deliberate inclusion, ensuring that we also as women carry other women along within our space, and offering mentorship, that would create an environment that would deliver on strategies and innovations that may exist within an AI environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Brilliant, sis. Thank you so much for that. I like the way you break down the whole strategy that one should put in place around education, awareness, and the inclusivity. Thank you so much for that breakdown. So moving on to Wufa, I want to believe by now you can turn your camera. Please, can you turn on your camera, Wufa? Yeah. Do we have you now?
My camera is turned on. Can you see me?
Okay, brilliant. Yes, we want to see your beautiful face. Things I'll be struggling to see it, but now we can see. Thank you so much. All right. So, Wufa, I'm not too sure, and I think I owe that to every woman on this, because I think I did not do justice to your introduction. Do you think anything I missed out? So I just want you to tell us a little bit of those things I missed out, so that our audience can get to know you before I ask you my question.
Okay, thank you, Jumoke. It's actually a pleasure to be here. I hope you can hear me.
Loud and clear.
Okay, thank you. So I would say that I've always been interested in the tech world. I think, sorry if I abbreviate your name, Remy. The first speaker actually mentioned something about people that have been in the tech world for quite a while. I probably fall into that category. um, yeah, so as a kid, I was interested in animations, but it wasn't something that I actually ended up doing. It's still something that's in the pipeline. Never give up on your dreams. But I did computer science in school, in university, and I've really been working in tech. I've been working as a consultant from time. I've worked with telcos, I've worked with banks, I've worked with the retail and hospitality area, implementing banking applications like FlexCube, Finacle, T24, and some other applications, as well as um, the integrating devices like mobile for what do you call it? Mobile printers, as well as big printers for big inkjet printers for printing fabrics, as well as big pictures. I moved into the telco space. I was consulting for Globalcom. And now I'm working at MTN. I've been working on and off with MTN. I've worked in emergency health, built an application basically or championed the building of an application that has to do with emergency health and security. And now I'm in telco space. I've been working with development team to build applications, championing, innovation in that space of building applications, integrating with enterprise systems. And in all of this, I also have my own side, like areas that I'm interested in. I would call myself a continuous learner. I'm interested in all sorts of things. Right now, it's actually generative AI, blockchain, Web3, 3D modeling. That's an area that I really, really am interested in. I think the last conversation that I met Jumoke, I was talking about the metaverse, which
Yeah.
really piqued that interest because I actually have 3 shops in the metaverse. I'm even
Hmm.
looking into opening like more. Yeah, this year. That's my goal, and possibly a factory. That's my goal. So in all of this, I know that there's a large area that is really opening up, for women, and um, yeah, I think yeah, in the AI space is really, really like taking over the market, taking over, organizations. It's something that is really being adopted across enterprises, small, medium organizations, as well as small businesses. Um, so I would say that because I'm more of an experimental type of um, experimental person, experimental leader. I do the thing where I start experimenting, and then based on my own experience, I then take that knowledge and then I share it, because I believe that sharing and mentoring and allowing people to, gain from that experience, makes it easier to step into that space. It's not as complicated. I've tried to figure it out, done the complicated
Yeah.
bits, and then now take it into bit sizes and then give it out there for people to be able to consume. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. Awesome. Thank you so much. And to be honest, the first time I got attracted in a very good way to Ufa was when I heard her talk about the metaverse. And she heard that she has 3 shops. Oh my goodness. And I mean, I was intrigued with the fact that that was the first time I was learning how you sell on metaverse, how you sell, how you have your own shop in the space. So you can imagine she has her own shops in the space and she wants to build a factory right now. So you can, and people are coming there to buy. I think we'll have her tell us a little bit of it later on. But for now, Ufa, the question I have for you is that what are the prospects for female leaders in the technology sector to propel innovation? Um, Remy has spoken about innovation. Omolola has also spoken about innovation, but I want you to dwell on the prospects for female leaders in the technology space to propel innovation and creativity through AI-powered solution. And the most importantly, what is should be at the center of all of this innovation should guarantee safety and confidentiality in the relevant data that are used.
Okay, thanks, Jumoke, for your question. So, I would say that, because AI, is rapidly increasing and is reshaping the future of technology, and females are, coming up in terms of leadership and taking up leadership positions. There are quite a number of females that are right now in the world who are actually championing, this AI inclusivity, trying to overcome bias, trying to talk about how we should consider how ethical AI, as well as data confidentiality. We have people like Jeannie Rometty. She's the former CEO of IBM, and she significantly, influenced IBM's AI platform, and through her leadership
Mhm.
expanded in healthcare, offering innovation solutions for data analysis and patient care. We have Joy, I think it's Buwolawini. She's the founder of Algorithmic Justice League, And for her, she is more or less highlighting and trying to mitigate bias in AI. Her work emphasizes the importance of ethical AI development, which includes ensuring data privacy and security. For things like, we should be able to collaborate earnestly, like for things like, what do you call it now? Human-centered AI. There are cases where we have certain advocates who actually champion how ethical, because like I think Remy mentioned, there's a lot of data out there, garbage in, garbage out. When I first started using AI, everyone started using chat gpt at one point in time. You would put in an information and you expect that, okay, the information it gives back to you is correct, and people will just copy and paste it and they don't read it. But the thing is that I read everything, and there was a time I was trying to do something like that, and then I saw ChatGPT telling me that a woman had done something that a man had actually done. They put the woman's name, and then put that the woman was the one who did it, whereas in reality, it was a man who actually did it. But the thing is that if you don't read through it, you actually don't understand that you're getting the wrong information, and
Mm,
you're pushing that out, right?
mm,
Um, there are people, leaders like and mentors like Reshma. She is actually the founder of Girls Who Code, and she's contributed to the gender gap, through education as well as advocacy. Her organization prepares young women for careers in tech, including AI, by teaching them coding and computer science. You have Margaret Vestager. She's the European Commissioner for Competition, and she's been instrumental in regulating tech giants and ensuring that AI technologies are developed and are used in a manner that respects privacy and data and protects, data protection laws. So there are things like diversity as a catalyst for innovation, the expanding the talent pool by advocating and implementing policies that encourage women and minorities to pursue that career, and also it helps to mitigate talent shortage in the sector, especially AI related fields. There's some challenges in terms of, despite progress, women still remain underrepresented in tech leadership roles. And even where I work, we actually have this women in tech, where we try to push and promote for women to actually, push past their imposter syndrome, and actually, request, for mentorship or support to enable them to be able to scale past the level of even first level, second level, to a leadership role, beyond the leadership role, to a C-suite role, executive role. And that will actually help, because women, we are more detailed, we have empathy,
agree.
and we take that and we bring that into a space where you have men, and there's some things that they probably will not see in that area, but we women, because we're detailed, we would actually take that, and at the point where you are starting your development, you are introducing that in that phase of the beginning, at the point of the analysis of, okay, I want to build something that incorporates AI, and I want to be able to, indicate that, start to protect my customers' data, so that there are no legal issues, there are no regulatory issues, because NCC will come for us, and it's going to be a large fine. And we don't want things like that. So we have to be able to keep that in mind, that we're actually taking that information from the get go, and we're actually managing what the output is at the end of the day, with consideration to all of that. Um, then, in terms of bias, I've actually gone through it myself. Like I use a lot of generative AI tools, and from Mid Journey to ChatGPT to Copilot and all of that, you see that sometimes you request for something and they're giving you, the output is white, Asian, Indian, never black. And then when you put like a word that has to do with African, it tells you error, error, or you're actually using a word you're not supposed to use. So that inclusion in terms of, the data sets
Yeah.
that they access to be able to, generate that kind of the images that you need, or and all of that. And I am not want to promote, most of the arts that I generate, because I have like a special page that I use for generative art. And mostly, everything that has to be black, I have to promote my people. So everything that has to be generated has to be black, and there has to be inclusion of, everybody, every single person. And that inclusion also includes the people who are blind, the people who are deaf, the people
Mm.
who need special support. And that is actually not really like accommodated um in the African market, I would say. That area for people who are limited, that have um sorry, yeah, the word is rude.
A form of disability.
So fast. Yes, disabilities, yes. So that also has to be incorporated into it. So in terms of strategies, would say creating a work culture that includes diversity, can attract a diverse workforce and promote innovative thinking. And maybe it's things like sponsorship programs to also encourage women, to come into that space and support them in tech, so that they're not scared or they don't have imposter syndrome while coming into that space. There are a lot of AI applications today that actually they look like they're complex, but if you take the time to actually like practice and practice and practice, whatever output you get, you get that, you work with that, then you take it again, you work, you keep on going and keep on going, you start to build. In fact, something that looked very complicated at the beginning would just look, when I first started that, there's this communication tool I started using, I think it was Discord or so. And then I was like, who uses Discord? And then I was like, this looks very complicated, but I just realized if you relate it to some applications, it's somewhat similar to Slack, but Discord
Mhm.
seems to, yeah, it's somewhat similar to Slack. And at the end of the day, you just figure it out and you keep going. Um, Midjourney first started on Discord, which actually made me start to use Discord. And then I think now they're trying to get their own app separate from Discord, as well as some other applications too that also started on Discord. And there are applications today, AI, that allow you to generate 3D models, literally text to 3D model. It's basically getting to that point where you don't need to use Blender anymore or any type of 3D applications. It's getting that easy. So it's just to be able to say, okay, what role, what can I take? What role can I now take now, based on all the available roles that are beginning to come out because of all these AI applications that are available to us as females, and then take that. And even in your current job, I tell my mentees that if you're a physiotherapist, think of how you can integrate AI or tech into that space. If you're a psychologist, think of how you can integrate it into that space. You don't need to do the drastic change. There's now health tech, there's food tech, there's so many areas that are now merging with tech. So literally, all you need to do is just expand your mind, experiment, innovate, and then, you know, something great will come out of it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that's a very exhaustive explanation to that question. Thank you so much for all of that. And I guess that for me, a takeaway from your discussion is that one has a very open mindset to how you can navigate the world of AI and then use it to make a lot of innovative and creative changes around your environment. So thank you so much. And then, so moving on to my namesake, in a way, Joy. She started to hijack MJ from me, but no problem. We'll see about that. So, Joy, I'm not too sure. So I think I'm moving on to you right now. I'm not too sure that we so going on right now, I think one of the things that I didn't do, like to yours, I didn't do a lot of justice um, to your title. So, and then to the introduction, just give us a little bit of introduction about you. However, don't mention MJ. Don't mention MJ because that one is actually for me alone. So go ahead.
Okay, so MJ has said I shouldn't mention that we have lots of common friends, and there's always that problem of MJ. Who would they call MJ? So I have officially told them to always call her MJ, and then they can call me FJ. It's okay.
Oh,
I would stay there. um, who am I? Like you mentioned, one of the things that draw my attention is how to help people get into tech and preferably cybersecurity. And that's because of my story and my journey. Um, I wasn't a high flyer at school. I wasn't one of those people who would come top five. If you went to the federal government colleges back in the years, I think I'm becoming old. They used to do first five and last five. I used to come bottom five or sometimes bottom 10. So I wasn't considered what people would say brilliant student. But because I had a very determined father who would not accept that any of his child was anything less than great, he constantly said that, and I kept working on myself. Long story short, my journey into tech started from somebody giving me a chance and me seeing that you could break into tech with anything. And so my story is around telling people that no matter where you are, you can break into tech. I was that um, clerk, office assistant somewhere who started from there. And just because I knew how to use typewriter, I transited into using computer to do Excel. And from there, I got into an IT company, and the rest is history. So I'm a big fan of telling people that you can do tech. And tech most times is seen like one big thing. Tech is everywhere. Tech is everything that we're doing. Tech is at home. Tech is in our church, in our religion. Tech is everywhere. So just think of how you want to infuse it to amplify your life. So I'm that joy. I'm that person who is a preacher, not of war, but a preacher of tech, or that you can break into tech no matter what the challenge is. And I have years of experience. I have when Ufua was talking about her experience, I just said to myself, and I have a very, very good friend on the call for me. We always talk about the benefits of being consultants. If you do your tech journey as a consultant, it's one of the best things that can happen to you. You get a huge wealth of experience. And that's how I met, MJ. Consulting will get your hands dirty, it will get you to see different use cases. And so when she was just talking about Finacle, you know, all the core banking application, I was just laughing and I was just having nostalgia feeling and remembering, some of the times me and MJ have had to have back-to-back intensive fight technology conversations when we're trying to either load balance or make an application to work for a client,
yeah.
those years. And I just could feel it and I said, wow, I really have come a while. So I've had my hands just like her with different applications,
Yeah.
application optimization, security, endpoint security. And today, people like to say cybersecurity, and I always tell them cybersecurity is big. Inside the cybersecurity, we have different things, whether it's application security, whether it's data security. So we keep playing and evolving. It's dynamic. You don't stay in one place. Today, we're talking AI, and we'll also be discussing how, again, you can grow in AI as a woman and what we can do with AI.
Thank you. In fact, you took me back to memory lanes, to be honest. Thank you so much, Joy. So, Joy, my question to you, how can female leaders in the technology industry successfully manage the intricacies of cybersecurity obstacles? As one that is a big player in that space, I want to know how such obstacles like involving threats, regulatory challenges, how can you, as a leader in that space, strategically leverage artificial intelligence solutions to enhance the identification and proactive prevention of cyber threats in any organization? Your thought on this?
Would it be good to also add as a woman? Because I feel that
Yes.
I feel AI is very beneficial to the woman in today's world of tech. And then when you niche it down to cybersecurity, and I'll tell you why. When the event started, we all came online, the panelists, we did our dry run, we made sure our videos and everything was happening. And I have a 5-month-old baby, and she started needing attention. And I went off camera. And what could I do? I went off camera and I attended to her. And at that moment, while the talk was going on, I was just imagining how artificial intelligence is going to help us. And I'll give an instance. In one of my experiences, I had to investigate frauds. And what AI would do for you today is help you reduce the amount of time you will spend on doing things. So it means that I can still carry my baby and still do that work and still apply my critical thinking and analysis and bring out a faster result. Because the challenge we have as women in the industry today is that the expectation is that we should still be mothers, we should still be wives, we should still be sisters, we should still be available. In fact, women are the ones who give emotional, when there's an issue, if you work even in the office, when people are emotional, they look for female colleagues, female bosses that they can go and express how they feel like, they've been spoken to in a way they don't like. We are all of that, and we are still expected to deliver. So what has artificial intelligence done for us? It just helped us to be able to reduce the turnaround time that we use and provide more provide more output. So in the world of today, with threats, with the high threats or the high landscape of threats, however you want to put it, I feel like artificial intelligence has come to help us. Now, security is two-way. There's a pathway that has come to help us to ensure that we stay secure, that we don't breach data, which all the other panelists have talked about, making sure that we use the right information in the right environment. We don't take what needs to be here and put it in the wrong place. AI is going to also help us to be able to make those detections. In the course of consulting, many organizations will always tell you they don't know where their data exists. They cannot come and be able to tell you that this is where people have kept certain information. But with AI, it's going to be faster. So as security people, we're going to find out that we can do more data discovery now with AI and find every place and fingerprints our data have gone to. And so that helps us to be able to make informed decisions as to how to provide the right security controls, right? Like every new thing, there will always be a backdoor. While learning to be a certified ethical hacker, we were taught how to hack, but we are ethical hackers. So, like every good thing, there will always be that loophole for it to be abused, for it to not be used right. And that's where the continuous awareness that we keep doing would come up, where we keep educating people on how to do things right. Just like the way technology has allowed all of us to come together today, it's the same way the same technology is destroying people. But we're doing continuous awareness and education to people on how they can use technology to do right. So for me, from where I sit, I see AI has come to help we, the women in tech, preferably in security, do more, do better, and get to that top as expected and ease some of the pressures that we face at the workplace with our male counterparts who all they do is wake up, go to work. We have to wake up, think about the children's food, pack their food, pack Oga's food, do all of that, and still go to the office and look at that investigation and detection and say that, oh, the company is safe. With AI, after a meeting, Copilot will just help you pull your reports, key points, and then you're easy to focus. This is what I need to do. I don't need to start saying, what was the interpretation of what they said in the meeting? What are the action points? I see the action points, I deliver. I look at the threat detection, and it can already be able to tell me all the fingerprints, and I can make logical response to it faster as a woman. I love AI.
We love you too. In fact, I just want every one of us to give a thumbs up, or even if it's an applause for women in the house, for all the women. Juggle my brain. When Joy is just talking about, the challenges we really have to go through. Make sure we put food and make sure we pack food, and yet we're also supposed to excel as well as our male counterparts in the office, not minding whether what we've gone through, and yet we're really doing it well. Thank you so much. I like the insights you brought into how AI is helping women in cybersecurity. I love the part of how it tells you now to help you discover data more easily, discover threats more easily. And this is really, really, really cool because to some of our audience that are listening, some of us don't even know, how we can apply this technology today. And that is what we're doing here. That's the whole essence of this platform. We're looking at these three pillars are actually what is driving innovation, what is driving the changes, because they are all transformative technology these days. So we're looking, where is cybersecurity coming in? Where is AI coming in? And how is data at the center of it? How is it doing? And that's why we have the amazing women in the house doing justice to all of the topics that we are, to all of the questions that we've been asking them. Thank you once again, Joy, for that awesome response. I'm moving on to another sister. And this particular one knows book too much. In fact, she intimidates me with the way she reads. She doesn't want to stop reading. I don't know. But I mean, you can, she reads and reads. Before you know it, Ellie has gotten one. Ellie has got, and then so, and I have she's my big sister. I'm super, super, super proud of her. I want to bring her, we call her Ellie, but for the purpose of introduction, let me introduce Ni Ola Adeyemi. So, sis, over to you.
Hi everyone. Okay, so you just bastardized my name, and that's why I like people to call me Ellie. I hope you can see me very well. All right. How you doing, everyone? My name is Nihin Lola. I like to put the native part of it in it. Okay. But I mean, it's okay you call me Ellie. Yes, you did a bit about the introduction, but I'm not going to bore you with all of that. Maybe you guys will go on my LinkedIn. But there are some significant things that you didn't add. I'm a co-founder of Secure Up Solutions LLC. We just started that last year. And I call myself a tech octopus. And like every other lady has said here, consulting is sweet. So I know we have little time, so I'm just going to wait for your question while we move on. But again, my profile is on LinkedIn, and I'm also the CEO of Errand Pay. Errand Pay is a fintech, so I kind of work in several organizations as we speak. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ellie. And forgive me once again for murdering your name. I'm also not doing justice to your introduction. I know I'm forgiving, I know. Thank you so much. And as one that when you're always talking about governance, if you're looking for anything on governance, I'm telling you, LA is the person to go to. And that's what brings me to my question. How does data governance empower women in leadership role in the tech space to make informed decisions about implementing and securing AI within their organizations? Your thoughts?
All right, thank you very much. That's an interesting question. Again, I see myself as GLC architect. And the reason why I'm particular about governance is because if you don't govern, if you don't, you know how they say it in project management, you have a scope. If you don't put a boundary on something, you find out that people are going to go overboard. And that relates to security as well. As much as I have my security experts cap on, I also have my governance. And for us lady to make that decision, I mean, good enough, some of these um, areas already have their ISO standards, the international standards you need to follow. I recall when I think it was Oluwaremilekun was talking about data privacy, and GDPR, NDPR as it is in Nigeria. There's also an ISO around that area, which is ISO 27701 that governs, privacy. Because the way we are right now, I tell you, in the next 10 years, we're going to struggle as when I mean we, the whole world is going to struggle if you are not in the tech space or you don't want to jump into that bandwagon, let me call it that way, especially with the areas AI is going to dive into. As a matter of fact, every industry is going to be affected, whether you like it or not. I mean, selling akara on the road, you'll be amazed how AI can help you transform that. So looking at the governance now for data itself, there is also an ISO around that. That's ISO 8000 that talks about data management and all of that. And there's also the one around AI. I know when AI really started, and when I joined Forbes Technology, I used to join every session webinar that had to do with AI because I was concerned I was concerned about, governance around AI, because I know it's new. Just like when internet started with social media, everybody was like, oh, there has to be governance around, social media. But because it was new, we don't really even know, we're yet to find our footing and our bearing. But right now, AI is kind of established to some extent. So there's need for governance. And I'm happy and excited to know that, the international standard is already looking at ISO around AI, the 42001 and all of that. And so how has this helped to make decisions? Now, when Joy was talking about, no, it was Ufwa was talking about, sorry, I had to note down the names and all the points. Ufwa was talking about data accuracy. And, she was talking about AI and all of that. It's garbage in, garbage out. We all know that, way back in tech. And if you don't have the accurate data, if you have issues with the data, whatever you put into AI is what is going to bring out for you. She talked about ChatGPT coming out with all manner of things. So there's need for women to ensure that in the space that they are, like Omolola, ensure that data is accurate, data is clean, so that by the time we take that data and put it, implement that data, integrate it into our business processes, we're coming out with accurate results. And the best gender, I'm sorry, that can get that data clean usually is the female, because we are detailed. We have eyes for detailed, we are very careful, we are meticulous. And the only way you can get that is ensuring that as a woman, you're at the top where you can make that decision when it comes to data accuracy. You don't just get the data and say, you know what, let's just push this in because we want to implement AI. If you do that, there's going to be issue with security. We're talking about data, the implementation of the AI, and also the security. So while you're there, the guys at the dark world are already a step ahead of you. So what are you saying? You're putting in the wrong data, and it's easier for them to hack into that solution that you just implemented. Now, someone else talked about, Joy said tech is everywhere, you know, and tech is here and it has come to stay, whether we like it or not. So that we need to say to ourselves, how do I protect my customers' data? How do I protect the privacy? Because a lot of people right now are scared. They're like, okay, AI is here or AI is coming. As a matter of fact, I tell you, AI is come to stay, whether we like it or not. So the earlier we start embracing that, the better. So are people going to say, I can't put my information out there, I'm scared? No, but when you have this governance, when you have this ISO standard covering or protecting your personal information, protecting your privacy, you'll it's easier for you to do business with that kind of a person. I won't come to Ashim, and if you don't have ISO that governs my personal information, I won't do business with you. But I'll do business with you if you have that. So if I come to Lola's catering outfit and she has that ISO standard, I'm happy to give her my first name, my date of birth, my email address, and all of that, knowing that she's going to follow the processes, the procedure on how to protect my data. Another thing is that has to do with compliance. Using that protection, that data protection, right? I'll say something before I go to compliance now. So as a female, you look at yourself and like, where can I play in that role? As a female on the C-suit, and to ensure that we can implement data, AI, sorry, and we can secure AI. You can actually become a DPO, a data protection officer, where you can ensure that all the data that the organization has is with the right person. So you implement CIA. Joy, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. The confidentiality, integrity, and the availability. Who has this data? Who has access to this data? What's the integrity of the data I'm giving out? So I want to integrate, maybe UFA wants to integrate data with maybe Omolola to give maybe they want to have an API call to integrate people that have MTN, MTN subscribers that can buy cake or whatever from her, what's the integrity of the data she's giving? The data that she's taking out from MTN to give to Omolola's business, so it's very important. And is it available when she needs it? So that's what we need to also look at, and we can use that to make informed decision as a woman. Then talking about compliance, where are we on compliance? As women, we should say, look, we want to ensure that we've implemented best practice, that we can play not only in Africa or wherever we are in Europe, but we can also play internationally, and that would help us grow our business, increase our revenue and all of that. Then finally, I would say risk management. Again, when you talk about risk management, you talk about how you identify the risk, how you assess the risk, and how you mitigate the risk. So as a woman, in tech, when you're there and you start looking at how to implement AI and looking at the security part of it, and in respect to risk management, then you start identifying the risk that that may come up. You assess the risk. Is it a positive risk? Is it a negative risk? How do I mitigate this risk? Do I need to monitor the risk? Do I need to transfer the risk? Do I need to accept it? Do I need to avoid this risk? And making this decision would help you, to also grow the business as well. And I tell you what, I'll just quickly dive into the education sector before I hand over back to you, MJ. There'll come a time, and the time is very soon, in less than a decade. As a matter of fact, I'm saying 5 years, and I stand to be quoted, where we as parents, as mothers especially, and I love what Joy is doing, should intentionally start talking to our children. And for those of us on this call that have grandchildren, start talking to them. Because schools would have AI tutors, whether we like it or not. It's come to stay. Now, how do the children understand that there's an environment in school that is different from the one at home? So I'm at home as a child, I have my mother and my father or your partner, whatever it is. And I'm in school, I have an AI communicating with me. So we need to ensure that we start infusing that security into these children. Let them understand that, look, as much as you have these two worlds you need to live with, unfortunately, that's the world we've come to live in right now. These are the security issues that comes with it, right? So I said 2035, that's a long time, but trust me, I'm sure maybe if we have this call again the next 5 years, you probably say, Ellie, you were right. So for me, using all these parameters can help women make that informed decision about how to implement and also secure AI. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellie. There's, I used to tell myself that I've not seen anyone as passionate about talking about governance the way you do. I mean, from a woman's perspective, to be honest, I mean, there's so much passion about it that even if you're skeptical about it, you say, okay, let me listen. And it's caring, and at the same time, is informative to hear the last part you just spoke about how AI is going to be a tutor in class for children. We've seen it coming in gradually. We see that, I mean, we started seeing this issue about in the education sector, how AI is making students now less focused and all of that. And then now even thinking about the fact that it's going to even replace your teacher in the nearest future. I mean, it's something that calls for us to actually be very concerned on how we're educating our kids and then on using this technology. I love the fact of the way you spoke about the governance, ensuring the CIA of data, ensuring that those data is not only confidential, but is available, and then integrity is maintained even when it's traveling from one end to the other. Thank you so much, Ellie. I mean, always a pleasure to have you speak, and always a pleasure to learn from you all the time. Thank you. So moving on, I know we're past time, but I'm going to crave the indulgence of our speakers, please, for each of the next question, because I see some question in in the chat window. So for this, each of the questions we're going, I wish we had enough time. In fact, I would love to hear you all through the day because I'm learning a lot. But please, I crave your indulgence for the next few minutes. Please just spend 2-3 minutes. I know in each of, I know when we start talking, like me also, I like to talk a lot. So I lose track of time. Thank you so much. My next question is to Remy, and the reason why I'm going to Remy is because being a Microsoft staff, I know that Microsoft plays very well in the field of AI. Can I have Remy? Remy, are you still on the call? I'm so sorry we disturbed. I hope the young man is not unhappy with us for taking the mother away from his birthday. Yes, I'm here. Yes, but we can't see your face really.
Oh wow. Okay, I think you need to
Okay.
go hard to be back. I mean,
Oh,
some
okay.
sort.
No, we can see your face. We can see your face. Don't worry. We can see you. Let me just add
Okay.
you as spotlight you for everyone. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Right. Thank you. So, like I said, I know, like, as one who works with Microsoft, Microsoft is a very big player in the AI space. And then one of the things they've talked about is around responsible AI. So my question to you is, what are the ethical factors that should be taken into account when one is implementing AI solution for the purpose of data analysis and security?
Okay. So in fact, I might not use 1 minute. So I'll just read it out because it rings in my head, right? Every now and then. And those are just the principles of responsible AI. I know they're the general ones that we all use, I mean, globally for AI solutions. But for us at Microsoft, there's six of it. I mean, six of them in any case, and we'll touch base on each and every one of them during this discourse. And that is one around privacy and security. How do we ensure that how do we ensure that the collection of data, right, and the use of other people's information, all right, we ensure that there is some sort of privacy around it. Our solutions or our data are secured, right, which is a bedrock. Inclusivity, very, very key for us as well. And I'm sure it should be key for everyone. I made mention of that in one of my examples around maybe AI. I mean, helping you with a JD, you need to ensure that the language that is being used is inclusive enough. It's not just bias about a particular culture, not even just gender now, but culture, spoken language, or things like that. Let it be general, right, and be applicable to all. Fairness as well is very, very key for us, right? In I mean, ensuring that you give a fair play. I mean, a fair platform for everyone to play on. Um, Accountability as well, right? Organizations who are turning out these solutions or using these solutions take responsibility. I think that's one of the key areas as well around responsible AI. The other two, transparency as well. We need to be able to take, I mean, and bold. I mean, we need to be able to say with our full chest, if I'm using your data, this is what I'm using your data for. This is what I'm collecting your data. This is how I'm going to use it. Where I'm going to use it, for how long it's going to stay within my database. And I think, yeah, reliability and safety, that's the sixth one for us. For anyone who has used any of the Microsoft AI tools, you'll see that when you're building a solution using any of those AI tools, before you even go ahead with, I mean, launching the different tools that you want to use, there is this box that Microsoft will require you to check, right? To ensure that, I mean, and to attest to the fact that whatever you're going to be doing on this platform, right, you will abide by the rules, right, of responsible AI. And I think that should apply, right, to the different AI solutions that we have across. So I'll stop at that.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Remy. I think to our audience, if there is anyone that is skeptical around using Microsoft AI tools, I mean, I think to some extent you should be more relaxed now with all of the ethical factors that Microsoft has taken into consideration around the responsible AI that Remy called out for us. Thank you so much, Remy. And thank you for joining us. I know I'm still coming back to you, but for now, you can still be the young man. and still celebrate his birthday with him. So going on to Joy. Joy, I know you've spoken a lot around cybersecurity and all of that, but I want you to give how do you advise that we use this leadership role to collaborate with AI experts? So oftentimes I've seen in organization that there is this disparity around knowledge, and then there is no consolidation of knowledge when it comes to AI expert, data scientists, and all of that. And then you find out that everybody is just working in isolation and all of that. But how do you advise we use our leadership role to collaborate with AI experts and data scientists to develop robust strategies for addressing emerging cybersecurity threats?
So I did speak about this a bit in the first response, but now that the question is asked clearly, I'll spot it out. As a leader, it's expected that you have gathered a certain level of experience. It's that's part what has taken you to that position. In the world of AI and security, look at yourself the same way. In the absence of AI, how you will run your team would be you would delegate tasks, right? You will get them to do things, bring to you, and then you will provide that leadership guidance. And it's the same thing. So as the people who you lead, explore the use of AI and bring. AI is not removing your role. Rather, as a leader, it is now time to even showcase that leadership quality that we have more now through guidance, through engagement, through conversation. So when they bring those contents that they have gotten from AI, we infuse our leadership by asking questions, engaging them, questioning, and that helps even the person who went to do the research using the AI to begin to question their mind and their thought process as to how they arrived at that output that they brought to you. What we think most times is that people will just go in, put things in AI, bring it out and give you, and then you, the leader too, you just move on. No, our leadership role here should not, we should not forget that we're here to guide, we're here to advise, we're here to hold their hand through the journey, to understand the importance of some of these soft skills that are needed to allow us to be able to arrive at the expected end. So for instance, if you're working on a client's project, by default, you probably would have a memorandum of understanding with your client. And probably that memorandum of understanding has mentioned that XYZ should not happen. You have a young analyst with you who needs to do a research, and you have engaged, and you need to educate the analyst to say, while you're going to AI, you do not come out rightly and say, okay, and Sons Limited is trying to do ABC. You begin to educate, and that's where the education around prompts, how you use your prompts, how you create those ideas or tweak it so that they understand that it's okay to use this tool, but this is how we stay safe, secure, in line with what we need to do. So that's where leadership is. Leadership is still the same thing that we do even without AI: guidance, education, empowering these young people, so that at the end of the day, what we want is a fast turnaround time. What we want is to be able to deliver quick results and effective results. And it's not going to remove that experience that you have. Rather, bring it, help these young people amplify what they have. And at the end of the day, it's a win-win for everybody from where I sit.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for that brilliant answer. Thank you. And I quite agree with you. Education is key and guidance is key. And then we cannot leave these people to do it alone. So what happens most of the time, just like a speaker the other time said, is that we all jump into this transformative AI. There is no proper education, there is no proper guidance. Then the talk about security comes after, even when people have already delved into it. And when things go wrong, that's when we start saying, oh, I want to take a step back. But how we can actually start taking that step even before people jump into it, and even when they're into it, we're guiding them, is what I'm taking away from your conversation. Thank you so much, Joy, for that elaborate explanation. So moving on to Ellie, my dearest sister Ellie, how can women in tech leadership roles promote a culture of continuous learning? So you see, Joy spoke about guidance. She talked about learning. You have to also own it yourself. And then now, how can we promote a culture of continuous learning and skill development in all of these three pillars we've been speaking about: AI, data analysis, and cybersecurity, to actually stay ahead of this evolving industry trends that we're experiencing? How do, yeah.
Thank you, MJ.
Question. Yeah.
Okay, so you're back again to me with my passion, continuous learning.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, like I said earlier, AI has taken over the entire industry. So don't sit back and say, you know what, I'm still safe in my own space. And how do you ensure that you understand what's going on and you're part of what's going on? I like the fact that Ufa is doing a lot around that. I'm also doing a lot around AI right now. And the only way you can do that is also to be like an example where you are. And that's why, I mean, if not for the exchange rates now, I'm sure I probably would have done like 40 exams and all of that. But, you also need to be an example. So when you talk to your mentees, they can feel you, there's that empathy that, look, I can do it if I, as a female with all the baggages we have as female, can go through this. I mean, you have no excuse. And again, you also need to let them understand, the significance of learning and also putting yourself out there because you become obsolete. I mean, I have 25 years experience and I'm still learning. A lot of people that read other courses probably have their
I think we lost that. Yeah. Okay, so while we wait for
just.
Ellie to okay, all right. Yes, I think we
Can you
lost
hear
you a
me?
bit there. Yes, we can hear you loud
Oh,
and
I'm
clear now.
sorry.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so let me go back a little bit and I'll be a bit fast. So I
Okay.
said you have to put yourself in that position, to continually learn so that when you talk to people, you talk to your mentees, you're talking from the place of empathy to say, look, I'm a female, I have all those baggages and I can still learn. Because if you remain where you are, you become obsolete. You can't be in tech and you say you're comfortable with your BSc or you're comfortable with what you're doing, you're comfortable with your space. Gone are those days when they say, oh, specialist. Right now, you need to be a specialist plus a generalist where you have to know what's happening around you. So you're saying you're a developer, you don't know what's happening in security, you don't know what's happening in AI. How are you going to survive? So you need to be intentional about it and you need to start encouraging people. Another thing is mentorship. I mean, I'm very heavy when it comes to mentorship. My journey, we can't start today. We are probably not going to finish. I hear Oluwaremilekun talk about our father, how our father had encouraged her. And father's just great. For every great tech woman I've met, there's always something about their father, which is also peculiar to me. Now, you need to mentor people. My journey was very rough. We were very few women in tech in those days, and you have bullies telling you, what are you doing in a man's domain? So there's need for mentorship. We need to encourage that so that people can understand why they need to read more, why they need to put in more effort, why they need to ensure that, they work according to time, because I mean it's time, tech is time, and we also need to encourage collaboration when we're looking at continuous learning. um Omolola is a data analyst. How can Omolola help me, in my own space as a GRC architect or as a cybersecurity architect? We need to ensure that that happens in our environment. Otherwise, we would struggle as women. I mean, right now we have about 26% of women in tech, especially the number is even lower at the C-suits. So when are we going to
Mm-hmm.
get there? I'm looking at a situation where in the next 5 years, we will start hearing gender diversity as it relates to men, especially in tech. Right now, I'll speak to you. I think there are over 12 women that are MDs of banks in Nigeria. And when you say the big five banks, there are women that are there, almost 18 of them, I guess. So very soon, let's start hearing about gender diversity. Help the men. They're choking. They need to breathe. Women have taken over tech. Why can't we do that? So that's the only way we can achieve that is by continuous learning. Let's put ourselves out there. Let's share. Let's network. Let's collaborate. Let's work together. Let's not envy each other. Let's love another, so we can grow that space. So I think with all of these, the sky is just a stepping stone for us. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ellie. To the male male leaders in the house, we are not at war with you, please. We grow together. Thank you so much, Ellie. All right then. So moving on to Homolola. Olola, can I have you again? Can I have your video on again, please? Yeah, I'm looking at Formula. I can see her right now. Hey. All right. I don't think I have her on the call, but let me go on to.
I am here. Hello.
She's here.
Hello, I'm here.
Okay. That means it's me that is missing you out. Okay, let me remove every other person from this spotlight, and then I can see you clearly. Okay, Amala, please can you turn on your camera for me, or is your camera on? Am I the one missing her? Okay.
My camera is
Let's
on.
see. All right, sis. Just 1 minute, please. Okay. All right. Yeah, technology. That's what happens. All right. So, well, how can organizations support women career growth and advancement in tech leadership, particularly in AI data and security focused domain? I see a question that will come to very soon, and I think that question is more of where do I start my journey? But I think we will come there because she sees that she's inspired. That's a lovely one, I think, from Oduayo. But before we come to, I just want to see, I want to ask this question pertaining to organization. How do you think they can support women? And before you answer, I just want to lay a little bit of background. There is a school of thought that argues that even if you put like when I talk to my male counterparts, they tell me that even if you put women in the same room and they are taught and with guys and they are taught, I mean, the same thing, I have 10 each of them, and then you find out that out of those 20 people, 10 women, 10 males, that at the end of the day, it is only probably maybe 2 or 1 woman that will come back and then continue. So it's not that they keep arguing that it's not that we're not giving the same opportunity. The argument has always been that it is we that are rather not pushing ourselves forward to do what we're supposed to do. So having that at the back of our minds, how do you think that organization can support that growth when it comes to women career advancement in tech leadership, and particularly in AI data and security focused domain? Yeah.
All right, thank you. Fantastic question. And I'm going to start answering the question by referring to something that I picked from the book As a Man Thinketh by James Allen. Now, it said that as much as you might want to help someone to get out of a situation, it is also important that the person you want to get out of the situation is mentally ready to move to that next phase, right? So if organizations will create space for women, women must also be ready to take the space. Just like you said, you can create space for 10 women, and at the end of the day, 9 of them fall away and you have 1 left. Now, I'm going to speak as a woman who has found a way, risen to a level within the corporate organization and in a space where you have very limited number of women. And I would say many things helped me. One is that I was given the opportunity. So I resumed work and somebody said, oh, there's a space in the Management Information Systems unit, and Lola, you joined the space. And what happened when I joined the space was that I was working with a guy who said to me, I don't want women problem. And we're in the midst of automating. And he said, I don't want women problem. We need to automate everything here. And I really don't want women problem. And so I took that as, well, I've never seen myself as a woman. I've always seen myself as an IT professional. So what's the problem? Let's solve it, And in a matter of time, that statement went out of the window and we got the job done, one way or the other. So I think that the biggest challenge for women is that a lot of us are dealing with imposter syndrome. We have different challenges from our different backgrounds, our homes. A man and a woman can work, and a man and a woman can fight at home, husband and wife. The man goes to work and he does so well. The woman gets to work and she's just thinking about everything that happened at home, right? So these are things that are the realities that happen in the workspace and affects women. And I believe that it's one of the reasons why when I work with women, I always say, when you get to work, forget about what happened at home and just focus on getting the job done. You go back home later to the problems. So I believe that particular programs that address the soft skills for women is critical to help women to find their space, and also validation, room for validation of the women within the workspace. I had bosses that said to me, Lola, you're fantastic, you do well at what you do. And that helped my psychology. It helps me to prop myself up. I was in the room with one of my bosses one day and I was saying, oh, one day I'm going to be a leader. And he said to me, what do you mean? You're already a leader. Can't you see? You know, such affirmation within the workspace is also very important, and even for women to women, because it's, you find out that in the workspace it's not just about the men getting the women out of the room. Sometimes it's about the women not creating room for the other women. You know, sometimes we say, oh, I did it, I had children and I focused on the job, don't tell me stories. You know, that we should be empathetic to one another, you know, show empathy and not expect everybody to be as strong as you are, right? And the interesting thing I found out is that sometimes we meet people at their weakest point, and that doesn't mean they're weak. You just have met them at their weakest point, and you have to just show empathy whenever you meet anybody and give people the benefit of the doubt. So I would say to any woman that is listening to this that forget about your gender when you're working. Just focus on solving problems. Forget about your gender, right? And be intentional about personal growth. Be intentional about personal growth. And I also encourage that organizations create room for personal growth also. At some point when I was working with Globacom, we had a boss, Ajay Satyati, who brought programs where we had to do trainings around soft skills and personal growth. And that really helped us to define our values, our missions, our goals, you know, and all of that. And that is part of why I am here, where I am today. So I believe this is very important. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much. I love the fact that, yes, I used to, I want to quickly write on your statement that, and which I used to tell people that being a female is only a definition of gender. It has nothing to do with your skills. It has nothing to do with what you got up there. That's nothing to do with the ability you have. So don't always be scared to show it. Don't always be scared to prove that you've gotten it. And you are not showing it off as one that is proud. You're not showing it as one of is always ready to fight or do. No, you're showing it, and then you're getting respect with humility with how you're showing it. So, and I thank you so much for how you've said it. And then we can overemphasize the need for mentorship program, for skill development, diversity policy, and much more to be in organization. So thank you so much for that answer. And lastly, to my wonderful sister in the house, Ufa, I'm going to ask you, and I think this question goes to the, your answer to this question will actually help Oduayo with what she puts in the chat window. So, Ufa, what role do mentorship and networking helping women to navigate leadership challenges in the tech industry? But in our own case, I just want you to speak to this first, and again, add to it that for her, she's just starting a career in tech. How does she navigate around that? That's how does she start a journey into where does she start a journey into tech? How do I start my journey into tech from? Or okay, sorry. How she's asking how she's going to start her journey in tech, and what are the diverse into tech? What are the diverse routes and all of that? So I think when you answered this from a leadership perspective, you can also help to answer a question at the same time. All right, over to you, Ufa.
Okay, thank you very much, Jumoke. So I think all the speakers have actually touched on every area that kind of has to do with um, leadership, mentorship, continuous learning, continuous growth, training, um, and all of that. But I think I'll just add some personal touches to it, more or less like related to or kind of tied to home. I think Remy as well as Ellie mentioned something about their parents and how they, somewhat somehow touched their lives from when they were little. And ironically, if I think back, I probably think my dad did that too. I was a very curious child by nature. I basically used to dismantle everything in the house because I was so curious as to what is inside that box. Like I would separate, I'll take a radio down and then I'll unscrew the entire radio. And then I'll screw the entire radio back. So it was really that bad. And he actually taught me how to. I loved playing a lot, and I loved watching TV a lot. But he taught me how to, somewhat be like my sister and, start to read. I didn't really like reading books. I used to say then that I can't read any book that didn't have any pictures in it. So all those Enid Blyton books, all those books that had pictures, those were the ones that I wanted to read because it just had short text and that was it. But he taught me how to expand my mind beyond that, and read more. And I think that was my journey in terms of once I started to read, it was so interesting. I was like, oh my God, this is how interesting it is to read. And I haven't stopped since then. And I just took that curiosity of opening things into the curiosity of, reading books. And he also taught me about you have, the flexibility to fail. As long as you learn from your failure, then you can also, take those learnings and put that back in. And moving forward, one of the first places I did my internship, my boss, and I've been favored, by God. Thank God. Well, I'm not bringing religion, but
Yeah.
I've been favored in some cases. I've had difficult bosses and difficult stakeholders, but I've also had, very good bosses. He taught me the skill of observation. Until today, that's a very, very good skill, for me in terms of where I work. He taught me how to observe everything around me, and that really helped me in the line of work. And then I was doing networking, running LAN cables. You have to go to sites to do site surveys and all of that. And that really helped me in that area. Before you knew it, I was doing proposals, I was doing quotes and all of that, just, based on just that learning. And he would tell me, okay, come sit down and tell me what you've learned today. So he took the time to, to mentor me. And I took that. And when I moved to NYC, um, the first thing that my boss told me to do was go and sit down in the office. I don't need you. You guys are more or less useless to me. He focused on all the men because myself and my friend were the only two females that had come to do NYC at his office. So he was like, okay. And then I kept going to his office to say, I know I have skills because I've worked in a previous place. Let me do the work. And my friend just she didn't have any issues. In fact, when we're coming, she'd buy those series that are 1 to 20, season 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it settled into work. And I could not understand that because I was like, why do I leave my house all the way here just to come and sit down and do that? And I kept, going to meet him, going to meet him, going to meet him, going to meet him. And eventually he started giving me something to do. And from there, he started giving me actually more responsibilities, figured out the kind of, where my strengths were, started allowing me to go to meet clients on by myself. And through that, I started to learn and I started to grow. And in fact, I actually grew like I moved 4 times from someone who was an intern. Before I left that company, I could actually say that I became like the highest position in that office. For me, the reason why I moved was because there was nowhere to grow or go to anymore. So I felt I needed to, just transition into something else. So what I tell my mentees when I actually um, work with them is that you have to be the one. Like I can take you. It's almost that saying of you can take the horse to the water, but you can't force the horse to drink the water, right? The person has to want to be mentored. You have to be the one to do the work. My very first mentee was working in Dangote, and she didn't even know she wanted to become a business analyst. We worked together on understanding what her visions, her goals were, right? So you have to be able to understand where you want to go to. And when you understand where you want to go to, you kind of understand where you kind of map your roadmap or your paths in terms of where your growth or your growth trajectory is going to. And then you put that plan in place. You can now break it down into, okay, this is where I want to be in a year or in 6 months. And then you further break it down from 6 months to 3 months to daily, to monthly to daily. And then you get to a point where you're actually checking it off in terms of, okay, I've been able to achieve this. Yes, there are sometimes that we get to a point of procrastination. Sometimes I procrastinate, I won't lie. So I would say it's not everybody, yeah, everybody, does that. And you may not necessarily achieve your goal because of some circumstances, maybe external factors, internal factors, or you just were not feeling it, or you just decided this year, I just want to rest my brain. I can't do this anymore. But you need to have a mentor, because a mentor simplifies the path for you. A mentor simplifies and allows you to be able to develop your skill as fast as you should. And yes, you can have a generalist mentor, but it will actually also help if you're able to get a mentor in the area that you are trying to grow into,
Mhm.
so that they can actually mentor you almost every step of the way, guide you. When you're having doubts, you go back to your mentor, you talk to your mentor. Your mentor actually helps with that. Another area is leveraging on your support system at work, especially women. If you want promotion, don't try and do it on your own. Someone did it. And I tell people, everything in this world, almost everything apart from the things that are innovated newly, have been done by somebody else. So if you're trying to
Mhm.
reinvent the wheel, you're more or less trying to start from scratch when there is someone who can actually help out. So what you try to do is, you're a manager. I would love to become a manager. Try as much as possible to network, engage those people, learn from them, if at all. In fact, try to request for actual tasks that a manager will do, because then on your own job, you have that flexibility to even try to understand where you are
Mhm.
going to. By the time you even transition and you go for the interview, it's easy to just do the interview because you've been doing the work already. And all you are just trying to get now is the position itself. So if you can, get sponsors, go for networking events, try to engage people that you can also work with. There's also communities that also support um, women in tech, as well as just general. If it's a combination of men and women, look for such areas to be able to join and also be part of it. The opportunities that will spring up, right? And there are women also who champion advocacy for change, empowerment of women, like we are here. So reach out, don't just try as much as possible. Don't try and do it on your own. Try and reach out in your workspace also. Try and reach out and just try and, be flexible in terms of open your mind to things that are maybe not your area. Like some people will say, okay, I got into this line of job because I just wanted to make money, but it's not what I wanted to do. But are you trying to even look at the area that is the area you are interested in? Are you doing anything about it? Are you reaching out? Are you meeting anybody? Are you doing anything of such? If you're not, then you're limiting yourself. So remove that fear, remove that imposter syndrome. Like, yeah, one of the speakers mentioned soft skills, building your soft skills, presentation skills, talks about imposter syndrome. All those different soft skills actually help. I'm part of a community called, I don't know if I can mention it here, Jim, okay? But I'm a part of
Yes,
a
go ahead.
community called
Go
Wentors.
ahead.
And Wentors, they we actually give those soft skills trainings, to our own mentees too, just for them to have that understanding and also grow in that area. And most of the women that actually come there are women who are not tech and they want to transition into tech, and those that are tech and maybe on level 1 and 2 and want to transition into leadership roles, or lead roles, or manager roles, or are managers and I want to transition into C-level roles. And all that in terms of different guidance is actually being given by these mentees. And not to limit yourself, there are also TED Talks you can listen to. There are people out there that you think. I personally have my own mentors that I have nothing to do with, but I watch their lifestyle. I watch how they engage with people. I'm actually like inspired by what I see. So you can also take that too and also do that, so that in case before until you get to a personal mentee that you actually engage, you can do that. Not to talk too much, moving to the other question that has to do with the person who needs to start. I would say identify your strength. Identify an area where you think that you are the strongest at, and think about it. Do I want to do? Am I good with people? Do I want to do business development? But that business development has to do with in the tech space. You're selling products that have to do with tech. Or am I good at organizing? Would I like to do project management? Am I very logical? Do I want to be a developer? Or am I good with design? Do I want to do UI UX design? And if you identify that your strengths, you can then now say, okay, let me now, put in the work and start doing a bit of research to understand, okay, what are the different roles? Will be my responsibilities under this particular role? Is it something I can do? You can also reach out to friends. You can reach out to people that you know that are also in that line of work, or maybe a leader or somebody that's working around you, just to ask questions. I had someone ask me one day, I'm not necessarily sure if I want to do product management or project management. And we looked at both sides, and then she realized that, okay, I think I would prefer to do project management rather than product management. So you have to put in a bit of that work to be able to understand, okay, what you want to do. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I mean, that was a wrap-up speech. I don't think I want to add anything to it because Ufa has just drawn a lot of justice to that question. Thank you so much, Ufa. And then I cannot tell you how lucky I am to be in the space of all these wonderful these wonderful women. And not just women. I mean, they're leaders in the tech space. They're leaders in their own space in what they're doing. And I think that they've done justice to all of the questions that we have asked. I want to believe that every one of us on this call is more than inspired with a lot of the things that we have heard today. And remember, when we started this, we're saying that one of the things is to drive confidence into you as one that wants to aspire to become a leader, or one that is even a leader, to drive confidence into you, and then see how you can navigate even this whole landscape of the business and the technology, especially this transformative technology that is out there. Thank you so much, Ufa. Thank you for all of that that's elaborating explanation you gave. And to everyone, I don't know if any other person has questions. I see questions around people's LinkedIn profile. Please, to some of us that have not been able to add, kindly help add it. I think I have Ellie left and then Remi Lekun also left, so we can add that. Do we have anyone again with any question? Okay, but I see some of the nudges that some of our speakers are giving on the chat windows, some of the advices they're giving us. Once again, I want to say a big thank you. I'm going to bring every one of us again to a spotlight. Sorry, to our speakers once again. I'm going to bring every one of us to a spotlight, and then we're all going to okay. No. I'm adding move forum. Okay, how to spotlight. Okay, all right. Remileko, I'm adding you, and then I want every one of us to show us how much we enjoy all they've said. Give them your thumbs up. Show them love. Do I have my dearest sister, Ellie? Please, because I'm the organizer, I don't even know whether I'm part of the spotlights. The truth is that I've been finding
We
it
can't
difficult
see
to know
your
whether.
we can't see
Okay,
your
I'm adding
face.
myself. All right. So, yes, Amala, you have your hands up. Is that you want something? Yeah. Okay, so can every one of us just give a round of, or show them some love? Please throw some love to all of our speakers. They've been amazing and they've been very, 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 very cool. They've given us a lot of, oh, sugar. Look at me. I've taken, and they've been telling me my face is not showing. Um, they've been amazing. They've given us a lot of nuggets, and I want to believe that every one of us has gained one thing or the other. I want to say a big thank you to you, my dearest sisters. Thank you for making this episode, this month episode of C-Suite Corner with MJ, a very memorable one, because I'm sure a lot of people that have listened to you are more than inspired, are more than motivated to go on with their tech journey and also to do amazing stuff, even as you guys have already covered. Thank you so much. Until next month when we meet again, I want to say a very big thank you. We'll be looking at bringing someone from the energy sector, and then we'll be bringing some amazing women also, some amazing male in the technology also. Thank you all for attending. I cannot thank you enough. Thank you for always making our time to attend this session. And I want to say, have a very pleasant break. Yes, the Easter break. Happy Easter in advance, or Good Friday in advance. Thank you to every one of you for attending. And bye, everyone. Yeah. Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye. Thank you.
I want to take a picture. Oh my goodness, oh God.
First
All
dropped
right.
off.
Yeah, but I can always take a picture later on. Thank you. Okay. Lovely. Lovely. Thank you so much. Bye, sis. Bye, everyone. Yeah.
Bye, everyone.
Yeah.
Bye. I'm just trying to click on the
Bye.
links on so I can
Oh,
follow. Yeah.
okay. The link for what?
So the what do you call it? The LinkedIn links.
Okay.
This one. Yeah.
No, I think I've added you already. I've put
Just
yours.
to follow others. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
Yeah. Bye. Thank you so much.